Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to go over just basically how to prep your card for grading. Super beginner level stuff here. If you're an advanced person, I get it. Click off the video. It's not for you. So I also want to go, should you send your cards to a group break or send them yourself? There's a lot of variables with that. So basically, for the guys that don't know, people send off cards to get graded. The big couple is PSA, Beckett, HGA is coming on the scene, and SCG are kind of the big four right now. PSA and Beckett are really the top two dogs, though. But the other ones are coming along nicely. But first, I'm just going to go over, you don't want to send your cards off in a top loader. So I got the two basic kinds you want. Card Saver 1 is the highly recommended, and BCW semi-rigid holders. But you want a larger size. So I do have a couple right out here. So you'll see here's a BCW. Here's a Card Saver. Same size. Right? You can see same size. Now they also make, there's an Ultra Pro. It's a much smaller size. And there's a good reason why you don't want to use the smaller side with sports cards. This would be more, you're going to mail out Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Collectible cards. It's much smaller. It's much harder to work with. You have much greater chances of bending corners. You want the larger size. You don't want the smaller size. And like I said, if you're going to do collectible cards, sure. Go ahead and get yourself the smaller sizes. You might save a couple dollars. It's not worth it in the long run, though. So these are the two main ones they'll use, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do it. So first thing I like to personally do is I like to stretch them out a little bit, not a ton, just a little bit. I like to have a thick card that's pretty much worthless. It's my cat collection, Sphinx Cat. Cool card, right? But it's worthless. So I like to put this in the sleeve for a little bit while I do the work, stretch it out just a little bit while I'm working, especially if you're sending off larger cards of this size. Alright, so you're going to get a card like Wei Li right here. No, I'm not sending this off for grading, guys. This is just a base card. And if you want to wear gloves, personal preference, I like to just wash my hands. I'm not big into gloves, but you do what you want to do. Now you just get a microfiber cloth. This happens to be one that came with the pair of glasses that I had. You can use any microfiber cloth. And you just want to give this card a wipe. The whole card, nice little wipe. You want to make sure there's no dust, no fingerprints. And then I'm just going to give it a little lift. And I'll do the same on the back. Hold it down a little bit, just a quick little wipe. Pick it up. I'll just give a quick inspection. Make sure I don't see any fingerprints. Make sure there's no dust. If I see a little dust, just give it a little wipe off. This card's right now. Most people put this in a brand new sleeve. No big deal. I got sleeves right here. Now, if you're using a basic card and you're putting it in an ultra wide sleeve, it's no problem. If you're not, to not bend the corners, to have very little shot of bending the corners, you just take it and you'll go ahead and give it a little slip. And now it will slide in very easy. You're going to see right here, I put it in and just slides right in and over. No shot of bending any corners. Gives you a little bit better shot. Also, they do make a higher grade, thicker plastic which slides better into the card savers. You can get those a little more expensive, not the end of the world. You don't need them. Now that this is loosened, I just go in and out once or twice, just get it a little, clean this off a little bit. This is an older one, don't mind that. And then you'll just simply slide Wei Li in. She should go in pretty easy. And what I like to do, you don't have to do this, I use little Post-its. And I'll put a Post-it on the outside of this. Just like that. And now you squeeze the corners, ends a little bit, and then you'll just slide Whaley in. Alright, and now Whaley's in there. And this is how you'll send this off for grading. She comes right out with the slip. And she'll go right in, super easy. These are a little tricky, that's why I like to loosen mine up a little bit. But go ahead, throw her in. Not the end of the world. Now she's prepped, she's ready. Real easy. Now, do you guys want to submit by yourself? Do you want to submit with a group? It's a personal preference. If you're going to submit to PSA or Beckett, I normally recommend the group has better prices. If you're not doing this full time where you're one of the premium members of those services, these guys are, and normally they can give you a discount. Their turnaround times are normally a little bit better. The group rate is normally pretty good. And you can have them pre-screen your cards if you want. I normally don't bother. I pre-screen them myself. I know what I want. Most of mine that I get graded are from my personal collection. So, if they're for your personal collection, you want them graded for you. You want them encapsulated. They won't get dust, dirty, scratch, damage. The grade's already on them. If you're grading strictly for monetary reasons to flip it, that's a different ballgame. You might want them to pre-screen it. They might be able to pick up some print lines or something like that. It's a little different ballgame. If you want to submit by yourself, that's also fine too. It's just a little bit more work for you, not much. And you're probably going to pay a higher rate. Now, if you go through HGA or SCG or whatever, those ones you probably should do by yourself. I don't believe they give many discounts at the moment, but it's fine. So I'll give you this, show you how that looks like that. In and out. Now, if you were to try to put it in the smaller one, you'll see I didn't get to stretch it out. This is almost the size. It's very, very tight. You really have to press down to get her in here. You'll be struggling. You really don't want that. It's I just wanted to give you an example. Really, this is perfect. It's a pain. Just so you can see the difference. Really, Magic Pokemon where their corners are round and everything like that, it'd be a lot different. Now, she's even a pain to get out for those guys. Like I said, if you're going to put them in, get a large card. Barely even fits here, my Sphinx card in here. And just go ahead and stretch it out a little bit. You can hold it in there for a little bit. Boom. Oof. So, and now it's going to be a little bit easier. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's short. It's really just basic stuff here. And also, do I recommend you grading your cards? Just one last question I know I get asked. It's really personal preference. If you think you get a 10, corners look good, edges look good, surface looks good, centering looks good, I mean, it's probably worth it. If your card's not going to come back a 10, some 9s on super rare cards are fine. Or a larger card like a Flawless and Immaculate. Those are very tough to get 10s. So maybe an 8 on that. If you think your card's going to be way out of center, you're going to get something lower than a 9, 9.5, depending on where you send it. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. You're really shooting for the lowest grade is a 9. Besides, like, Mickey Mantle or something like that. I think you're shooting for 10, obviously, every time. But you're paying big bucks right now to send your cards off and get graded. It's not cheap. So shoot for only sending out the high stuff. It's personal preference. Do you like them sealed? Do you like them raw? It's very personal. But alright guys, I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you guys soon.